What it do, everybody? It's your boy King Crowder checking back in with another edition of History You May Know, that you may not be aware of, that you should know. Today's edition will be a little controversial one, but I think it is something very interesting that I went over in my research. It's going over the foundation and the creation of the lottery. The lottery that we all see played, promoted, all on the news and life and TV and things. It was actually invented in the Northeast of New York, and it was called by most white folks in that area, Niger Pool. It was a derogatory slang used for Black Americans to talk about they running the number games and how it works. And you can read articles, which I'll bring down, back in the 1940s, how they described it literally as how Niger Pool used to be. The whole theory behind it was literally how the lottery system was created. You'll have four numbers and you'll have a ball being dropped. This game became so popular that the Italian Mafia and the mob in that area began to copy and use the same steps that many Black Americans do. This helped it transition to white society because the numbers game is literally just a lottery transformed. They changed the name of it, edited a few rules, but it kind of blew me away to learn that, wow, this was something that was actually demonized at first, and it's something that we all adopt and tend to use later. The word, the old slang for it was literally called Niger Pool, and it was heavily used in Boston. And this was latest reign of the lottery. It began to set the mood for America, and it also allowed for a little entry level to how gambling became to be acceptable. We see now that gambling in the sports events is really common. It's no different, and it's very commonly used. But it's just funny looking back on history, seeing how this works and how it is used. The reason why this is such a culturally relevant thing is to bring up how times shift on issues and things that were worse demonized in the past. You could say the same thing when you're speaking about alcohol and prohibition. Prohibition was once outlawed. J.F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy's father, was a famous bootlegger. That's how the Kennedys built their wealth. I want you to think about that for a second. John F. Kennedy's father was a bootlegger whose son became a president later on. So essentially, in our terminology, his dad sold crack, and the money he used from the crack era made him rich because bootlegging was the crack of his era. It's pretty amazing when you continue to learn things and see how society works. But over time, the less demonization of it and why this history is so important. So again, the lottery was called Niger Pool, invented by Black Americans in the Northeast. And the irony of it is that we all use it, and you see those multimillionaires being used to today, and it had a racist beginning in the past. King Crowder checking out with that little bit of history nugget and lesson. I definitely think it was important. Kind of do your research on it and pull it yourself. It's pretty funny what you'll find. But I definitely thought that was an interesting subject and something to chime out on. Peace.